what's going on? Legion Order here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to Editor Gaming XP Grind, episode 116. So today, we're actually going to be kill a little bit more sheep and ram, which we do quite a bit, so it's not that entertaining, honestly. Something else really cool that I noticed was this, which I'm sure a lot of people have already caught on. It's an arrow tab, which I think is incredibly beneficial and helpful. So I'm really grateful for that. So let's go ahead and kill a bunch of sheep and ram and also collect a lot of other resources that we've sort of left out here. And it looks like we've got a berserker out here, so we're going to go ahead and kill him as well. And we're going to be doing an XP update at the end of the video. I don't really think I need to do one right now. We didn't really do anything behind the scenes except figure out that basically there's an arrow tab, and I don't really think that calls for an XP update. So lots of stuff on the ground to pick up, and we've got the giant guy with the shield. I don't really want to deal with him right now, so we're not going to go that way. Hopefully we can get these sheep before they all sort of run off. It makes it incredibly difficult, especially when I've got to back up like this, and it can instantly cause problems and lead me into running into monsters that I do not want to fight, or an archer that likes to hang out over there on that sort of rock platform. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in the next episode. We're probably going to be making the runes in the next episode that we collected. We collected a bit of rune essence recently, so we're probably going to work on that a little bit and just make runes, work on rune crafting, as I feel like I've really put it to the side and I need to start putting in more time. And there we go, we got him. I didn't know if that was going to happen or not, so let's go ahead and go over here. But we're going to be working on rune crafting, and at some point I'd like to get back to cooking, but I think with killing sheep and ram in this video, it will give us a little bit of food, but not much. And in regards to dirty water, I really don't think I'm going to be collecting that anymore, as it's just incredibly time consuming. And even though you sort of just sit there and click the control button, it's not fun. And I think I've talked about this a little bit before, actually. You don't really want to spend your time in a game doing something like collecting dirty water when essentially you could be actually just killing creatures to get their resources that you can use for cooking. And so you're going to have to come back and kill all these creatures anyway, basically, because it's part of the leveling process. So it adds to your progression. Here we are again with the dire wolf. I thought it used to say the name. There it is, over what you're fighting. But basically this thing gives lots of XP, so if you're in a position where you can actually kill it, and it's not going to put you in a position where you're going to end up dead, also watch out while you're backing up, because you don't want to run into other creatures and then potentially make the fight unwinnable because you've got way too much going on. But it drops a lot of good things that are going to be really beneficial to you, so I definitely recommend killing it if you can find it and you think you can actually win the fight. I think it would be extremely beneficial, so I just thought I'd throw that in there. But yes, so after we work on cooking in a rather soon episode, first obviously episode for rune crafting, maybe throw some food on the fires, so that way we sort of work on both. And then after that, I'm not quite sure. I think it's just going to happen as it happens. Maybe we're going to go back and kill some more rats, because obviously we do not have enough of the ichor, which is going to be really important to have, obviously, to poison arrows. I think that's really going to come into play when you're fighting higher level creatures in Fellhallow. I don't think it's really necessary for here unless you haven't killed Velgar. I think it could really help with Velgar a lot. I haven't tried it on Velgar, but I really think it would be beneficial. So I'm trying to avoid this shaman and still get this kill. It's really not important that I actually get this kill. It's completely unnecessary, and ultimately it could be the death of me. But at the same time, why not, right? Why not do it? And I could probably even get the shaman and get 2 Garu packs, which I really don't need those either. So ultimately, the reason I'm doing this is, I guess, XP. Let's just say for that. But they're going down pretty fast. Just got a block. I'm still taking a little bit of damage when I block. I think that might be a little bit new, because I don't recall ever taking damage when I block things. So I think that's why the Abyssal Demon's been killing me recently when I block. It's probably not a ridiculous amount of damage because I'm blocking, but I think it's enough to basically kill me at whatever potential life I was at, and I probably was already low, so I'm thinking, oh, it went through, but I think it's more so I wasn't far from death to begin with. So there's a lot of bad guys sort of all around right now, and I'm not quite sure why that is. It's a little bit weird to me, and I'm just going to do something really quick here. There we go. It's interesting. Okay, so that's what I got to do is put my phone on silent mode because I don't want to be making a video and then someone calls, and I don't like things like that. It's quite frustrating actually to be doing something and then someone calls and sort of messes it up. But we've got an archer, which I was trying to leave that area because I felt like there was too many monsters, and it seems like no matter where I go, they're just everywhere. So I guess they're unavoidable. Our inventory is actually about to be full, but that's okay because we often do this and just leave everything on the ground, except this ram is trying to destroy me while I'm in a heated battle with a Garu hunter. I died. I can't believe I died. That's really irritating, actually, because why did that happen? Why did it have to happen? I don't understand. But ridiculous, actually. But anyway, it shouldn't be too hard to get back to our buddy, as it should just be over here. Still frustrating. And there we are with all this other stuff on the ground. We got to be careful not to pick any of it up because then we won't be able to hold everything in our inventory. So let's go ahead and grab our buddy. All right. So we're back at it again. But still ridiculous that all that happened in sort of a sequence that essentially led to my death. But here we go. So let's get it done and keep moving. These two sheep are on the run. Let's see if I can get them. There, we got one. I think the other one's too far behind. Let's see if I can get him. Lots of sheep and ram out this time. I don't know why, but I rather enjoy it. Let's see. That ram was in the way. Oh my gosh. I really think I could have got that ram, that sheep, if that ram hadn't sort of gotten away. There's just way too many bad guys out, but there's lots of sheep and rams, so it's sort of, I guess, like a switch. I get to have a little bit of all of it. And then there's this plant, which I usually don't see there. Maybe he takes a walk to sort of spawn back in, and it looks like the shield, Garu shield guy, can't even think of his name right now, sort of ran away. So that's good. I don't want to deal with that anyway. And maybe I can get that sheep that's sort of running in the distance. I got killed. I wasn't paying enough attention to my health, but I'm not happy about that at all. Second time dying. Absolutely ridiculous. What a waste. But it is what it is, right? Hopefully I've got a lodestone close enough that it's not this horrible adventure back to my body. Looks like I'm dead right here, so it's not that bad. Okay. So let's get back to it. But ultimately, there's another one of them. They're everywhere. I don't know what's going on right now. It's almost like they're increasing the amount of creatures out here. Maybe not sheep and ram necessarily, but enemies that you're gonna have to deal with. Maybe they felt the area got too easy. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it definitely feels different and it feels more dangerous out here, that's for sure. So I'm not sure if that's new. I don't know. I'm also not quite sure how I feel about them sort of adding the splash effect or the splat effect. It's interesting to me. Um, I guess it's okay. I'm not sure what a high critical hit would be, but over the course of time, I'm sure that I'm going to hit all hits. So I don't know. But there's my Golden Gate Bridge in the distance, way out there, and that's really why I did it. Because it just looks so cool. And you've got my what is that? It's a space needle behind it. You can see that lit up as well. I just think that is so cool. I really wanted to go for that sort of effect that was just put you in shock and awe, and I think it's really cool. But that took so much work. I had to build it twice actually, because the first time I built it, it was too tall, and so it was not going to work. And then I had to go back and do it again. Wow, there's so many bad guys out here. But yeah, I had to go do it again. So that was terrible. I think I spent like 3.5 hours the first time, and then it didn't work, so I had to go back and do it again and aim it a different way. So it was a little bit frustrating, and but I'm glad I did it. Obviously, those are things in the game that you look back on and you're very grateful that you took the time and you did them right. And it just turns out to be a lot of fun. And especially looking at your projects that you do in the game, building was just monumental for me for such a long time. And I think it will be again once they add new trees to the game. I think it'll increase stability and it'll allow us to make some other really cool things in the game. So really excited and looking forward to that as well. Sort of out here, I was kind of looking for the abyssal demon, but not quite. I'm more looking for rats. But if I find an abyssal demon, maybe I'll fight him. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not out here for him, but obviously he gives quite a good chunk of XP. So if you can find him, I think it's something to potentially consider if you're in a position that you feel like that you could actually have a good chance to beat him. Um, there we go. I don't really recall lots of putrid rats being here, but there's 3 of them here for me, so as long as I don't get poisoned and they don't do too much initial damage to me, I think I should be okay. But we're about to get poisoned, so we've got to be careful. Let's go. 3 of them, but I wonder if I'm going to get any ichor. It seems to be rather rare. Okay, so we've got all them dead. That's quite nice. Let's see if we can't find any more rats. I find it a little bit weird the way that they spawn in. Honestly, the way that the rats spawn in, it can be a little bit difficult to find them at times. It's always good to hit the chests out here, as it's going to give you lots of swamp tar. I think it's a great way to collect it. Obviously, you can run around and pick it up off the ground, but that takes a lot more time. And I don't know. Obviously, all ways are going to be a great way if you need lots of swamp tar. So there's no real wrong way, right? It's just really what's working for you. So let's go here and see if we can't find any rats. Sometimes there's a bunch here. I don't see any currently. Quite interesting. There, you would think there'd be a lot more. I know when I go to the blood swamp, I can find quite a bit, but you got to bring anti-poison, and I think they changed it now as well. So the swamp actually hurts you as well. So it's a lot more dangerous. So I don't really like to go there as much anymore. So I'm not really seeing any more. Let's see. We could try right here. Sometimes you get a couple right here. I don't see any here either. I see a lot of goblins, or have seen a lot of goblins in the distance. So anyway, let's go back to our base really quick here, and we'll put all this stuff away, and then we're going to go to sleep really quick. We got 2 of those. That's quite nice. I like collecting that. It's a little bit tricky to get, so when I do get it, I'm quite happy about it. Got 21 of it. So just got to keep going. So many things we could put away right now, but I really don't feel like it. We're going to go to sleep. Obviously, it looks like it's time to shoot down all the renaissance again. We're not going to do that. But what we can actually do is fix our crossbow, as we do use this quite a bit. And it's probably just a better idea, even though it's not quite ready to repair. And I don't really want to use a bar. I think it's important to take care of that so it's not a problem later. Let's see. Okay. So let's go ahead and do an XP update, and I think we're going to call it a day. I'm not really sure where we are on time, but I feel like we did quite a bit of killing and overall. So let's go ahead and take a look. So attack, I don't think we used any actual melee, but we've got 319,000 XP in attack, and then we've got, I think I said 319,000 in attack. Ranged 51,754, so there's definitely a jump there. Woodcutting 1,001,000, construction 2,013,000, runecrafting 918,289. Super excited about that. Magic 123,000, mining 4,216,000, artisan 4,123,000, and cooking 356,198. So the only thing we really worked on, I suppose, was range, and let's see. I guess range, collecting resources, maybe I think that's it. So we just worked on range and collected resources for cooking, which we can do at a later time. Obviously, we really appreciate you guys watching our content. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your experience in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And we've also got another video coming out tomorrow. and we're going to be making runes, potentially working on cooking, and that's pretty much it. So until next time, Legion Luda out.